Welcome, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day or good evening, as the case may be. We've got a couple of breaks tonight, a half case of Tier 1 baseball, and a full 12-box case of legacy football. Guys, as it stands right now, there are a tremendous number of unpaid teams. In Tier 1 alone, I am looking at 6 unpaid teams. So if that is if those are your teams, you need to pay for your teams, please, because if you don't, they're gonna head out the door here in chat before we break this product. So once again, 6 unpaid teams currently sitting open in Tier 1. And it looks like we've got 3 or 4 unpaid teams still sitting open in legacy football as well. So if one of those teams or more than one of those teams belongs to you, please pay your bill so your team stays your team. Before we start ripping into things tonight, there is a little bit of information to go over. And also, it looks like our camera, I don't know what happens to this tripod. I swear to you, it gets like crooked or crazy or something, but maybe that helped it a little bit. So let's get started with our info here first up. Feedback 100% automated. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get positive feedback in return. And of course, the second message there, and the far more important one, is to say thank you. I do appreciate everyone who bids and breaks and chats and hangs out with me, keeps me company, and all of that. And next up, we're going to take a look-see at what we are doing in the days ahead. So tomorrow night we have, this is one of those weeks where we have releases on Wednesday and Friday. So tomorrow night, Friday night, we have both Luminance Football and Flash Football releasing there on the same day. So we're going to break a case of each of those on Friday night, and we will again be starting at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. On Saturday, we've got a 4-box half case, half case break of 2019 Bowman Jumbo Baseball. That's a back half of a case we started the other day. Paper base does not ship in that one. It has its own bidding category. On Sunday, we have an early start time, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll open Flash Football and Leather and Lumber Baseball. On Monday, that's another 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start. It will be Luminance Football and Finest Baseball. On Tuesday, it will be Flash Football and Finest Baseball. So that's what we're looking like in the days ahead for tonight. Here's what you need to know about this. We have 2 paid shipping breaks tonight. This half case of Tier 1 baseball up first, and then a full 12-box case of Legacy Football will be second. Note that Veteran Base does not ship to the teams in Legacy Football. It has its own bidding category, which I think, hopefully everybody saw that in the listing description, so you know what's what with that. Normally, I would take you right on to the spreadsheet to show you our break and we'd get started. However, as I mentioned, I believe we do have an unfortunate number of unpaid teams. So I'm going to check on that here in a moment and see where we are. And if they're still sitting unpaid, we're going to open them up for you guys to have a chance at them. So hang on, bear with me while I try to reel off what all we've got here. All right, so it looks like some of them have gotten paid in the interim. So right now we are looking at, for Tier 1, we're down to a couple of unpaid teams, and that's going to be the Reds and the White Sox. So Cincinnati Reds, Chicago White Sox are up for grabs here. And let me pull this up to get a look at what our costs are on these, or what our bid price was. So it looks like the Reds sold for a whopping $9 and some change, and our White Sox sold for $31 and some change. So obviously priority, as always, is going to go to somebody who would take both of those teams. But if there is no one who wants both, then for sure I can sell them out one at a time. So once again, it's the Reds, Cincinnati Reds, which were $9 and some change, so we'll call it 9. And White Sox last bid at 31 and some change, which we're calling 31. So Greg is here. Hi, Greg. Kavika is here. You're going to try tonight to get your Josh Jacobs with the Raiders. We're going to try hard to do that. And Darren is here too. Darren, we'll check on that legacy break right before we start it to see if we've still got unpaid stuff there. So Andrew, you said you would take the Reds, and all right, great. And Kavika, you're going to take the White Sox. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And I am typing in right now into chat the email that I use for PayPal. I don't use this for correspondence, FYI. If you ever need to get me, eBay messages is the best way to go. But meanwhile, that is my PayPal email. So Andrew, I've got you in for the Reds, and Kavika, I've got you in for the White Sox. So the Reds at 9, the White Sox at 31. And if each of you would please be so kind as to take care of getting that PayPal over while you're working on that, I'm going to work on updating the spreadsheet. Yes, that'd be great, Kavika. If you could send it just directly to that email that I just typed in there, that is my PayPal email, that would be perfect. Perfect. And let me update this really quickly here to say what we've got going on so that I know when I go back and look at this when I'm sorting and I think, wait a minute, what's happening here? Then I will know. So give me just 1 second to get our spreadsheet updated to reflect that. And I've got a little housekeeping as well to do on eBay to get it closed out from where the person didn't pay for it. I need to go in and get their situation closed out so that it's not hanging loose. And you got just 1 minute here. We'll be going shortly as soon as I can get all of this taken care of. Fix that and that. All right, so that's done. And then if the two of you wouldn't mind just giving me a heads up when you have PayPal completed, so I know that you are good to go with no problems, that would be awesome. Redmond, you're asking if there are any teams left for Legacy. Potentially there are. I'm going to wait until we finish Tier 1, and then we'll check at that point and see what is still unpaid in Legacy. As it stands right now, it's possible that there could be a team or two available in Legacy, but hopefully those folks are going to jump in there and get it paid and squared away. All right, so Kavika, you're set to go, and Andrew, if you can just give me the thumbs up that you are good to go, then we are going to be ready to rock on down the road here. So, yeah, we're just waiting on Andrew to let us know he's clear on the Reds, and we'll just go ahead because even, if he has a problem, well, it's the Reds. It's my favorite team, so even if he ends up saying, forget it, he doesn't want them, then I'll live with it and own the Reds myself if I need to. All right, meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's get our spreadsheet up here. So this is a 6-box half-case break of 2019 Tier 1 baseball, break number 6. All of our others were full case breaks. Honestly, I forgot that one of my places gave me a case and a half, and I found that half case down there, which I have a tendency to do. So then we threw it up here for bids, and that's how that works. And, of course, everybody there, you saw your username, your eBay username across from your team. Obviously, the White Sox and the Reds, the two teams that we ended up moving out via chat. So we got that squared away. And Andrew gave us the thumbs up. He is good to go. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you both for picking up your teams or picking up those extra unpaid teams that somebody bid on and didn't pay for. Now, let's see what we can find and see if the mojo, I hope, will reward you. right? That's what we're hoping tonight. Let me get a few little sleeves out on the table. And then let's see what we can crack out of here and find. I was actually kind of happy when I saw this because I do like Tier 1, and I didn't really get as much of it as I would have liked this past year. So even though I prefer to break by the full case most of the time, I was kind of happy when I found these little loose boxes just hanging around. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I did have that half case. And sometimes what we get are some really awesome things out of our half cases. Kavika says a nice Eloy would reward him just fine. So yeah, we'll have to work on that for your White Sox. We will do our very best to make it happen. All right. Almost ready, almost ready. So, of course, Tier 1, the beautiful thing about Tier 1, it's all hits in here. So it's just fun to open, get some nice stuff out of it. All hits. It's a pretty fun little product in my estimation. So we're bringing the bottom up first here because I usually like to save the relics for last. So the first that we see is Bryce Wilson. That is numbered to 25 for the Atlanta Braves. Our second out is numbered to 100, and that is for the Giants. Oops, that's also the wrong sleeve. Juan is headed to the Giants. And he signed really way up high. It's kind of weird because, like, obviously the space was left down there and he signed up really high. But anyway, what are you going to do? They sign how they sign, right? Justin Verlander for the Astros, numbered to 399 with a relic. Gleyber Torres for the Yankees to 399. Rodney, somebody sniped you again. Man, you're going to have to start using sniper yourself, right? I mean, for real. Daryl's looking for Yankees and Braves. Well, you started off well with your Braves. We still have to find you a Yankee, but your Braves are on track. Here comes Zach Wheeler for the Mets. And Zach is numbered to 240. Followed by Josh Hader for the Brewers. Josh is numbered to 299. And a little imperfection in the corners. You know, honestly, edges and corners of pretty much all of these have some really minor imperfections. Many people probably wouldn't even notice them, but I'm kind of picky about them, so I do tend to point that out. So 375, Castellanos, Tigers, relic. Oh, Rodney, they outbid you by 88 cents. Oh, that's the worst, man. That is the worst. Joey Gallo to 375 for the Rangers. Well, many of you have heard me say this before, but one of the easiest ways to win more bids is to not bid in a common ending amount. So, you know, if you're inclined to bid $3 or $3.50 or $3.25 or $3.75, just add like 3 cents to it, you know, just make it like $3.28 or, you know, $5.67 or something like that. You would be surprised how many times those extra few little cents might let you hang on, and because the person bidding against you, you know, doesn't bid high enough to exceed your bid because you have those little cents hanging in there. Number to 25, that is Eddie Rosario for the Twins. For the Philadelphia Phillies, Carlos Santana to 240. Rodney said you will not get outsniped tomorrow. You are on a mission, are you? You've got it like down. You've got it down and ready to go. Matt Olson for the Oakland A's to 399. Oh, well, see, Kavika's making you feel better because he says his high bid was like $70. So even though maybe the bid increment showed 88 cents or something, it sounds like his high bid would have kept going then. So that's how that works. David Justice, that is numbered to 299. Well, Rodney, right. So Rodney's saying, well, it showed that it sold for $58.88. So chances are, it just goes by increment, but it will only incrementally bid as high as it needs to bid for you. So in other words, if you had Rodney put in $65, it would have bid $65.50 or $66, whatever the next bid increment was, all the way up to his high bid of 70, which apparently is what he had in there. So I think that's what he's saying. Andújar, numbered to 125. There's your New York Yankees. Houston Astros, Carlos Correa to 399. Greg, you need some more Philadelphia Phillies? All right, my friend, we will try to find you some. We're getting close to the tail end of this. We've got this pack and one more to look at in this half case. Reyes comes out for the Padres. And Juan González to 299 for the Rangers. I kind of like that a little bit. I like some of the walking back in time stuff. Kyle Schwarber for the Cubbies. You guys note there's some imperfection right there on that bottom edge. And that is basically just the coating kind of peeling up on the edges. It's the Cubs and Kyle Schwarber. And for whatever reason, that has happened periodically in Tier 1 this year. They have a little QC issue with some of that stuff. Phillies here, we've got a little imperfection in particular down there on that lower right when you're looking at the back. And it is for the Phillies. Herrera to 399. And now we are in last box mojo mode. Let's see what we can find. Well, this usually we would save to the end, but we're at the end anyway. So we'll look at it face up right away. It's Chris Davis. I believe that's going to be the Oakland A's, but we will check it out by going to the Panini website here in a moment. Salvador Pérez for the Kansas City Royals with a relic. And our last out is Jake Bauers, numbered to 250 for the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, so there you go. That is Tier 1, but we do have our little piece of housekeeping to handle, which is to go look up our Tier 1 talent autograph for Chris Davis. That's Chris with a K, not Chris with a C. Chris with a C, of course, is the Baltimore Orioles. Chris with a K is the Oakland A's. But you don't have to take my word for it. We're going to go look it up, and I'm going to show it to you here in a hot second. As soon as I can find where I need to be in this ridiculous mess of stuff. I cannot follow their checklist since they've rearranged it. It looks like this. I have the hardest time figuring out what is what. I wonder if it's going to just be Tier 1 autographs. No, Tier 1 talent is what it says, isn't it? Tier 1 talent autographs. So here we go. Now we need to find Chris with a K, Davis. And right there he is. Oakland A's, right as we expected him to be. But now you see it all official-like, straight from the source on the Topps website. So we're going to label that up, recap Tier 1, and then we'll be moving into some legacy football. All right, so here we go. The Kansas City Royals with Salvador Pérez, Herrera for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber for the Cubbies. The Astros with Carlos Correa, Matt Olson for the A's, Joey Gallo for the Rangers, Nicholas Castellano for the Tigers, Torres for the Yankees, and Verlander for the Astros. Those were our relics. Our autographs, Chris Davis for the Oakland A's on a redemption, Jake Bauers for the Tampa Bay Rays, Juan González, Texas Rangers, Reyes for the Padres, the Yankees with Andújar, David Justice for the Yankees. That's also kind of cool. Carlos Santana for the Phillies. The Minnesota Twins with Eddie Rosario /25. There's Hader for the Brewers. The Mets with Wheeler. Then you have the San Francisco Giants. What is that numbered to? 100 for Juan. And then Bryce here /25 got things started for us with the Braves. All right, so there we go. That is our break of Tier 1 tonight. Now, let me take a look here, guys. If you hang tight for a second, let me see where we are in terms of paid and unpaid teams for our next break, which is our legacy football. Let's see if there's, hopefully this, maybe everybody's gotten logged in and paid now, but let's pull it up and see where we are. So it looks like right now we've got one team that needs to be paid for, and let me check real quickly and see if this person maybe, let me just make sure this isn't somebody in another time zone or something funky. So bear with me here a second. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It just looks like somebody who bid and didn't pay. All right, so that leaves us with the Denver Broncos are open here in Legacy Football. They last bid for what? $36 and some change. So $36 essentially was our last bid on eBay for the Denver Broncos. Let me go down here and mark them on the spreadsheet as available. Then while you guys and gals are deciding if anybody wants to pick up the Denver Broncos or not, while you're pondering that, we'll go ahead and start running back through our spreadsheet info here so that we can get some stuff out of the way in the meantime. So once again, both of our breaks tonight, paid shipping breaks, no free shipping breaks in here this evening. Expecting them to be on the way to you no later than Monday. May get them out the door sooner than Monday. I will definitely try to get them out the door sooner than Monday, but shouldn't be any later than that. If you got skunked in Tier 1, or if nobody really is going to get skunked in Legacy, but if you got skunked in Tier 1, you are still going to get a package in the mail. You're still going to get consolation cards, even if you didn't pull anything in the break. So you'll still see a package ship out, and you know what? Maybe you'll have good luck with what comes to you if you didn't get lucky enough to hit in Tier 1. We are getting ready to go into a 12-box case of Legacy Football. It is a full inner case. This is break number 7, and same as our last break, it ended tonight on eBay, Thursday night, the 6th of June. Team names are on the left-hand side. Our winning bidders across from on the right. We have one unpaid team still available. That is the Denver Broncos. So if someone in here wants the Denver Broncos, please let me know. Jump into chat and let me know if you do. And one final reminder, Veteran Base has its own bidding category in this break. So Veteran Base does not ship out to the teams, right? It goes to that own bidding category. And we'll go over as we look through these what exactly that constitutes. Meanwhile, This is the start of a new master case. I know, weird, right? But that's what Panini does. They take 2 cases, they put them in a bigger box, and then they like to call the bigger box a master case. It's really just forcing you to buy 2 cases at once. That's really all it is. Anyway, because we have 2 in there, and it's the start of a new master case, we're going to go to our dear, dear friend, random.org, and let random decide for us which one will open tonight, the case on the right or the case on the left. So it's pretty easy. I'm just going to type in left and right because we have fewer than 10 items in our list. I will be doing random 3 times. Wherever it lands on the 3rd time, that's the one we'll open tonight. So once again, don't worry about the first one. You can ignore the second one too. Here's our 3rd one, 3 times, date and timestamp. It gives us the case on the left. So I'm going to grab the case on the left out of this big master case. And Darren, you're asking about on when I sell them in chat, Darren, there's no shipping attached. So they just, when you buy them out in chat as an unpaid team, that is just the cost. So like if you had another package coming already, they would ship in that other package. If you don't have any other package coming already, they would ship by themselves, but it would still be at that price. I don't add shipping on the stuff I sell out in chat. Because, you know, we're already just hoping to get, you know, to find a home for it when these people bid and don't pay. So try to make it as easy as possible. Meanwhile, let me get, while you all are pondering that, I'm going to get these boxes out of the case, and then I'll come back to chat and see what we've got going on there. As soon as we get our boxes out and on the table. Give them one thing, that they do not move inside these boxes. There is no extra room in there. Inside the case, I mean. Okay, so let's see. So Denver, Darren says you do want Denver. Okay, awesome. Then let me, I'll type it in again for you in case you did not catch it earlier. This is the email that I use for PayPal. So while I'm doing some housekeeping on my end to update the spreadsheet and reflect this going to you, Darren, and getting it cleaned up on eBay, if you wouldn't mind heading over to PayPal and getting squared away with me over there, I would appreciate it. And let me get this wrapped up over here to reflect this now as second chance going to you. All right, that's done. And let me get back in here and take care of it out of eBay as well. And let me get this cleaned up in here real quickly, and we're almost ready, guys. I know, I'm slow. I'm sorry. I do it as fast as I can, but I am a little slow because you do have to go in and make sure it's taken out in eBay as well, so that, you know, then if the person decides they're going to watch the break and then suddenly, you know, come back and try to pay for it if they pull something good, well, right, we don't want that to happen. So that is why I go in and make sure we're all canceled out. All right, let's take a look at the spreadsheet with our newly updated information, and then we're going to be ready to rock. So there we go. That reflects that the Denver Broncos now belong to you, Darren. Oh, and you said you've already sent it over. Thanks, man. You are on it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. You guys are awesome. The best. All right, so I think we are good to go. Let's see what we can find in here. Redmond 5422. You have the Seahawks. All right, so you're looking for probably a little DK Metcalf in here, I'm guessing. Well, that's what you said. You are super collecting DK. I see that now. Rodney's just praying he doesn't see the 1 of 1 Josh Jacobs for the Raiders, because that would kind of break his heart, I think. So he doesn't want to see it. But, of course, if you've got the Raiders tonight, you do want to see it for sure. And Big Papa Truth is here again. Hi, Big Papa Truth. And he maintains that DK Metcalf is going to be Rookie of the Year. And, you know, he said that the other night in Legacy, too. So, I mean, he's giving us some information that we can, you know, maybe make a little money on if you decide to go chase some DK Metcalf and it pans out. Darren likes N'Keal Harry. And you know what? I don't know enough about N'Keal Harry to have much of an opinion about him. I haven't really seen much of his tape. I did not see anything from him at the Combine. I didn't watch as much of the Combine this year as I do in some years. So I didn't actually see him, and I haven't seen a lot of tape on him either. So I don't know about that. Brandon, you know what? You're probably, hi Brandon, by the way. That's probably pretty smart to go after Will Grier, because you have to figure that at some point in the season, Cam Newton is going to be injured. I mean, historically, if we look at it, which would give Will Grier a shot at getting on the field for who knows how long. So I don't know that that's a bad, you know, that might be a good play too. All right, so we're going to spend a little extra time in this first box. We go a little slower in the first box just so I kind of tell you what's what, and then we speed it up in subsequent boxes. So these that look like this, those are all veteran base. So those go to that veteran base category, and they aren't shipping out to the teams. Inserts like this and this do. All of our rookie cards go to the teams. And by the by, rookie cards, of course, you guys know, Chrome cards go in, more inserts, more rookies, and a numbered card. J.J. Watt for the Texans is numbered to 50, and most of our blue in here is going to be numbered to 50, whether it's Chrome or paper. But to finish the other thought, our rookies in here are in their college uniforms. So what that means to you is they go to their current team. So if they were drafted, they're going to go to the team that drafted them. If they were undrafted and they have subsequently signed with the team in any capacity, rookie camp, mini camp, training camp, I don't care in what capacity. If they are affiliated with a team, they're going to go to that team. If they are affiliated or were affiliated with a team as an undrafted free agent, subsequently, if they get cut, which I don't think anybody has been, obviously, yet at this point in the season, but they would go to the team they were most recently affiliated with, unless, of course, they sign with a new team. So that numbered J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, of course, is for the Eagles, but it was also red. Red in paper is numbered to 299 in here. Red in Chrome is numbered to 100. And first up, we have Emmanuel Hall. I have the hardest time remembering this guy. I think he's a Texan. I'm going to check here in a second because I have him on a little cheat sheet because I can't remember him, but I think he's a Texan. And I would be wrong. He's a Bear. Emmanuel Hall is an undrafted free agent for the Bears, so it shows you what I know. There's a reason I have them written down if I can't remember them. He is a Bear, not a Texan. So now we know. So that's, of course, to 299 because it is numbered. It does go to the teams. So it's literally only unnumbered veteran base that isn't going out to the teams. That's the deal. And this is a prism, pretty little refractor there, but it is not numbered. We'll find a handful of those along the way. We may find some that are numbered as well, but if we do, of course, I will point those out as we come across them. Our green cards are numbered to 100. That one is Drew Brees and the Saints. And you said this product reminds you of Allen and Ginter. Hi, Ruben. I guess so, maybe a little bit from a design standpoint. Not really from, I guess, a content standpoint exactly, but I could see maybe a little bit of that vibe from a design standpoint to a certain extent. Yellow is to 165. That is the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Well, this will make you happy for your Patriots. You're going to have an autograph for Jarrett Stidham. How about that? There is Mr. Jarrett Stidham. Our second autograph out of this box. And if I forgot to mention it earlier, there are 2 autographs per box. That's to 165. Marquise Hollywood Brown, headed to the Ravens. And there is box number 1, locked and loaded and ready to go. Big Papa Truth says you've watched 100 legacy breaks and you haven't seen any Barry Sanders autographs. I don't think we've pulled any Barry Sanders autographs, not that I remember anyway. I think we've pulled maybe some Barry Sanders numbered stuff, but I don't think we've pulled a Barry Sanders autograph that I remember anyway. So, could be, but I don't know. Oh, I missed something up at the top. You said Brandon's talking about somebody who had a lot of potential but wasn't motivated, but I don't know who that was. But I don't know. Oh, you were telling me about that guy went to the Bears, right? That Emmanuel Hall. I don't know why I can't remember that. I have a mental block about a handful of players, and that he is one of them. I just can't remember that guy. I don't know why I can't, but I definitely cannot. Darren's like, dang it, Patriots auto after he missed winning the spot by $1. I know, it's always hard to watch when you get outbid and something good comes out. It just, it's the worst. Rodney knows about that. Rodney has been on both sides of that coin, on the side that has the team while somebody else is sad, and on the side that he gets outbid and doesn't have them, which makes him sad. So he's definitely been on both areas in that regard, or been in both areas, I should say. To $2.99, that was Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. We'll have to see how that shakes out up there in Baltimore this year. I still think the Browns might be the team to contend with in the division. I mean, I'm a Steelers fan, so it's kind of painful for me to say that, but I really do think the Browns are going to be good. Number to 100, that's green, DeAndre Hopkins for the Texans. And this red, because it is on a chrome parallel, will be numbered to 100. So paper red to $2.99, chrome red to 100. That is Charlie Joyner for the Chargers. To 165 for the Packers. That's Aaron Rodgers. He can throw a ball, but he cannot chug a beer. We learned that recently. I guess between the two, you'd probably prefer to be able to throw the ball, seeing as how that makes you millions of dollars. Numbered to 199, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Of course, he's been taking a lot of ribbing about not being able to chug the beer, and his teammates were able to. So I think he finally came out and basically said, well, finally there's something, they can beat me at, or something to that effect. So I think he's finally clapping back on that. Trayvon Mullen Jr. There is our first Oakland Raider of the night. We'll probably see more of them. They seem to come out of this product pretty freely. So we will probably see some more Raiders. They've got a lot of rookies this year, and that's usually what happens when you have a big rookie class. To 299, Riley Ridley for the Bears. And to 299, or 199, sorry, that's orange, 199, Jarrett Stidham for the Patriots. And Tyree Jackson is going to be our hit. Tyree Jackson, I do believe, is a Buffalo Bill, if memory serves here. For somehow I just hit, oh brother, I just hit the wrong thing on my deal here. Sorry, hang on. I just accidentally, I don't know, I was trying to keep the screen from going to sleep and I punched away the chat, but now it's back. So Tyree Jackson, I believe, is Buffalo Bills. I'm going to double check that for you. Yes, undrafted free agent to the Bills. So there you go. That's number 2 out of, that was the second hit out of the second box. Ruben says Carson Wentz got a new extension. $128 million over 4 years, 107 guaranteed. Oh, man. Well, there you go. That is quite a nice little deal. That's practically unprecedented in the amount of guaranteed money. Of course, that's been the thing that they've all complained about over the years, is they can get these great contracts, but it's not guaranteed money, so they can still be cut and all this other stuff can happen. That's been their big objection over the years. Of course, of anybody, quarterbacks are always going to get more guaranteed money than position players, generally speaking. But that's healthy, man. 107 guaranteed? Yeah. Big Papa says his wife is 105 pounds and beat a whole bar full of guys in a beer chugging contest. You know what? I cannot chug a beer to save my life. And I worked in the beer business for many years. I was a regional sales manager for a beer distributor. And my clients were bars and restaurants and stadiums, arenas, any place you bought it and consumed it in the same location. Not like where you buy a 6-pack and take it home. Those weren't mine. So, I was out all the time in my venues. And all kinds of interesting things happen when you get a bunch of beer reps together, including beer chugging contests after hours. And I could never do it. I am like Aaron Rodgers when it comes to chugging a beer. I might be worse. I don't know that I was worse than Aaron Rodgers. He was pretty bad, but I was probably on par with that. Could not do it. I don't know why. I could not make it work. So I can relate to Aaron Rodgers, and I say hats off to your wife, because if she could do that, she's way ahead of me. That is for sure. Yeah, Kavika, we did pull some nice Raiders for you out of that last break. We had a couple, didn't we, of Trayvon in that last break, I think. So yeah, we have been doing okay with that one. And somebody called Hotbox, and we might well be in it because that is numbered to 35. And there is DK Metcalf for your Seattle Seahawks in a nice low number parallel to 35, which we're going to assume probably is the beginning of our hot box. So whoever called that, I'll have to glance back over there to see who it was, but I did see somebody type it in like you're on it. It was Big Papa. Big Papa's the one who said that. And he's also the one that says DK Metcalf is Rookie of the Year, and the first one we see out of the hot box is DK Metcalf. I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. Jamal Williams to 35 for the Green Bay Packers. But see, if you decide not to take his advice, though, and follow his logic and clean up on the, stock up on the DK Metcalf cards, then, you know, I don't know. We might have to start thinking about it. Well, how about that? Riley Ridley making a cracked ice appearance for the Bears, numbered to 10. So Chicago, sweet little Riley Ridley right there. I like that. Ruben says it's the highest guarantee ever for Carson Wentz. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, that is like an insanely high guarantee, so I can understand that. Well, this is going to make one person happy and another person unhappy. It's another Patriots autograph with N'Keal Harry, and that is, of course, our gold version numbered to 50. So the Patriots are so far off to a pretty good little break here at the moment. Big Papa, you'd pay $20 to watch a beer chugging contest. It wouldn't be worth $20 to watch me in one, because I would get about, a fourth maybe of a mug down, and then I'd be, or a bottle, and I'd be done. Mike Evans to 100 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It sounds like your wife is probably the safe bet there in that scenario. Definitely not me. I learned that the hard way. I can do a lot of shots and things like that and hold my own in that arena for sure, but not chugging. Rodney, yeah, that Josh Jacobs card does look a lot like the Riley Ridley when you see it, you see it coming up before you get a good look at it. To 35, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, I could see how you would think that was going to be Jacobs seeing it flat. Jerry Kramer, we got an extra autograph in our hot box. Numbered 235. Coming out for the Green Bay Packers. We actually get Jerry Kramer reasonably often. Comes out as an autograph reasonably often. So we have got, Redmond says I passed a Vinatieri bronze. I did. Well, let me see if I can find it for you in that case. Hang on. I didn't notice it if I did. Of course, all those go to you guys anyway, but I am shuffling right now through the last little bit of what I sat down over here. I don't even see Vinatieri, period. Was he chrome? I'm looking chrome. Was he chrome or was he not chrome? So that I know which. I was looking for him to be chrome, but perhaps you're telling me he was not chrome. So anyway, we're looking for a Vinatieri to 35, which honestly I didn't even notice there was a Vinatieri. So It's certainly possible that it is numbered to 35 if I can ever find it. All of these that we're looking through do go out to the team, so even if I do accidentally miss one going through, of course you're still going to get it because I would see it when I was sorting, but for the sake of finding it for you, see, there's one I've got stacked in the wrong place, a Stidham to 199, which I would have meant to have had stacked elsewhere. I'm still looking, man. I'm still looking. But honestly, I haven't seen a Vinatieri. There's another one I should have had stacked somewhere. Well, apparently I didn't sort out the numbers out of these, so I must only be sorting out some of the numbered ones that aren't in the low-numbered ones I've got set aside and sleeved to recap, but the higher number ones are still in here. Honestly, I don't see a Vinatieri. And I don't think we would be farther back than this in our stacks, I don't think. So if it was, man, I don't know where it is. So I don't know. But if it's in there, you're going to get it. That's the moral of the story. But I did try to look back through there to find it, and I don't see it. Oh, it was not chrome. Okay. So did you guys, where, all right, so Redmond, I don't know where it is, but I will, again, if it's in there, you're going to get it. So don't sweat that part, but I did try to find it for you in case I missed it, but I didn't see it there. So, I don't know. If it was, I also don't really remember any of our bronze to 35 not being chrome. I think all of our hot box to 35 are chrome, aren't they? I don't remember ever seeing any that are paper that are to 35 that I remember anyway. I Play on Standard is here. Hi, I Play on Standard. Looking for some hits for the Steelers. That's my team. I like the Steelers. See if we can't conjure you some up. And see if we can come up with something for Pittsburgh. Yeah, Redmond, I don't know, man. I never mind going back to look for them if you think I've gone past one just to show it on camera. I don't ever mind going back to look for it, but in this case, I really didn't see it, and I think it would have been in one of those two stacks of cards that we looked through, so I don't know what if we had one or not, but I do think the hot box to 35 are always chrome, so I don't remember any that weren't anyway. Of course, we all know what my memory's like, so anything is possible. Jalen Ferguson, that's green to 100 for the Baltimore Ravens. I see a little yellow coming up, and that'll be to 165. It's Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here comes our first hit. It's for the Arizona Cardinals. It is Caleb Wilson getting ready to head our way as soon as I get him picked up. So there's Caleb, one of many possibilities for the Cardinals, who also have a lot of rookies. Now we've got one more 12-box break of Legacy to do. This is to 165 for the Bears. I don't have it scheduled yet, but it will probably be about this time next week. Okay, so probably in the Thursday to Friday range of next week. Because tomorrow, of course, we've got Luminance football coming out. $2.99 Tariq Cohen and the Bears. So we're going to break Luminance, 2 or 3 cases of that. And then we'll go back and finish up this last case of Legacy about this time next week. In the meantime, we'll play with Luminance a bit. And I've got a fair amount of it. And I think probably, 6 cases or so coming, I believe. somewhere in that neighborhood. So we'll have plenty of that to keep us busy until, and Flash, we'll have Flash football too, of course, to work on. This is numbered to 100, George Kittle for the 49ers. Number 250, Chicago Bears, Kyle Long. Oh, you found the missing package with the Murray Haskins autograph? Oh, the guy sent you an entirely different card in the package? Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Was it, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say I've never messed up and not sent, and sent something to the wrong place, because I have done that. And I have, in fact, I did that once, and I realized I had done it fairly shortly after I shipped it and before it was delivered. And I emailed the person, both people, the person who should have gotten it and then the person who I realized I had mistakenly shipped it to. This is to 299 Eric Metcalf, both of which were people who had bid with me before. And the person who received it would not return it to me. So even though I notified them like while it was still in transit and I knew what I had done, and I mean, I offered to pay them, I even offered to, buy it back from them just so I could get it to the right person, and they would not return it to me. Stanley Morgan Jr. comes out for the Cincinnati Bengals. So I ended up, of course, having to refund the first person, but I felt horrible because I had shipped it to the wrong person. So I do know that it's definitely possible, and hopefully not intentional on the person's part who sent you the wrong card. Because I've definitely done it. I don't do it often, but there's probably 2 or 3 times a year where I somehow, I missort something, or I mess something up, and I do always figure it out and make it right. So I hope that that's what happened with your guy, and that he's not, trying to pull one over on you. Redmond says this product is better than Prestige. Well, it actually didn't replace Prestige. It replaced Classics. So this is meant to be the equivalent kind of Classics, is the idea. Prestige was technically more or less in the calendar replaced by Luminance, the one that comes out tomorrow. And then they took Prestige and made it a retail product. So it was still around last year. It's just that it was a retail-only product, which they do sometimes if they think something isn't moving particularly well in the hobby arena. They'll reconfigure it and make it retail for a few years, and then sometimes they'll reconfigure it again and bring it back to hobby, or sometimes it just stays retail. You kind of never know what they're going to do. But yeah, this one took the place of Classics. Rodney thinks it's like Classics and Prestige rolled into one. Maybe. It definitely has more the classic feel to me, though. Big Papa, you said the card you got was still a dual Futures autograph, but it wasn't the same guys. So maybe the guy did just make an honest mistake. I really hope that is what happened. That's to 165, Tariq Cohen for the Bears. Because, people that try to rip you off, no matter which side of the table they're on, the side, the buying into the break or the doing the break, people that come in and try to rip you off just make breaking bad for everybody. So I hope it was something you can get worked out. It's to 299 for the Colts. That was Marlon Mack. You hit a Trubisky, Cutler, McMahon triple autograph yesterday. Nice. What'd you hit that in? What product was that? That wasn't out of this, was it? I guess well, no, are there triple autographs in this? I can't even remember what, I can't even remember what is in here. I swear to you all, I look at so many things every day, I hardly know if I'm coming or going. But I do know that our next football release, other than Flash and Luminance, which come out tomorrow, will be Elite. And that is due, provided they don't change the date, that is due at the end of the month, to 199 DK Metcalf. And traditionally, Elite is the first product where we see our rookies in their pro uniforms. It's to 165. That is for the Seahawks with Gary Jennings Jr. The Giants to 299. And here comes Ickey Woods, Cincinnati Bengals. He's another throwback signature that comes out of here with some regularity. Out of this particular product, I mean. So I'm assuming, this is to 100, Jared Goff and the Rams, that it'll be the same as it has been in past years. That Elite will be our first release with our rookies in their uniforms. To 199, Keenan Allen and the Chargers. You know, that's always the release I look forward to, because I think, oh, thank God, I don't have to remember who goes to what team anymore. Except for the Leaf products. You still have to remember for them, because they don't list a team or a city, so you have to remember for the sake of those. But T.J. Hawkinson, now we don't pull T.J. Hawkinson's autograph too terribly often. That is headed to the Lions. And I expect he's going to be pretty good. That's a nice little hit for Detroit. And I saw the pre-order for Gold Standard the other day. You know how I love my Gold Standard in anything. I love Gold Standard, just period. So since we're pre-ordering it now, it will probably come out, I don't know, July or August, somewhere in there. Panini doesn't give as much lead time on their pre-orders as Topps does. You know, Topps we pre-order most of the time about 6 months in advance. But Panini is a little tighter window usually, more like 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes even less than that. Sometimes they just kind of throw a product out there real quick and order it real fast because here it comes. I mean, that happens occasionally. Rodney, you're looking forward to Elite. You sold a DeAndre Washington to 10 for $60. So that made you happy. Yeah, I know. You know what? Topps might be starting to get back into some of that stuff, Rodney. Rodney's typed in, for those of you who maybe can't see chat or you're watching this later, that he wishes Topps was still doing football. And, of course, 2015 is the last year Topps did football. After that, the exclusive license went to Panini. Of course, we know other people can still produce it because Leaf does. The deal is you just can't show the team logos or state the team name. But they're, you know, still possible to produce the cards. That's to 165, Drew Brees and the Saints. And, of course, Topps lost the basketball license several years ago. It went Panini exclusive as well. The Saints to 199. However, this is to 100 for the Lions. Billy Joe Dupree. There has been some info. My rep actually sent me that Some players were signing basketball cards for Topps. Topps Chrome basketball cards. And there was a big stack of them. Now, it's always possible maybe they were getting signed to be used at the National or some kind of promotion there or something like that. But it's also possible, and maybe more likely, that Topps is thinking about getting back into some of the other sports. They would just do it in the unlicensed version. So, same cards, you just logos airbrushed out. There is Clellan Ferrell for the Oakland Raiders. So my thought on it is this. If that turns out to be that it's legit a Topps basketball product and not just some promotion for the National, it's to $2.99 for the Colts. I would not be at all surprised if we then see Topps starting to come back and make some football cards too. Same deal, just airbrushing out the logos. So maybe it's on the horizon. Big Papa, you don't like it that Beckett doesn't give us good pricing for the cards. Well, here's the deal. The card, it's so dynamic these days. That is to 165 for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Back when, of course, Beckett guides were the only game in town, that is to 100. Eric Dickerson for the Rams. I'll get it out in a minute. It was easier because really Beckett more or less set the market price, I mean, technically, yeah, they're reporting it based on sales at shows or whatever kind of stuff they used to tell us, but basically they were setting the market. That is a Travis Homer. It is a refractor / prism. However, it is not numbered. It is for the Seahawks. But really, with the advent of eBay and the rise of eBay and the rise of breaking and everything else, to $2.99 for the Chargers. And, check out my cards and all the other websites where pricing is changing by the minute practically. I think it just changes too much for Beckett to keep up with, and then they start putting in these outrageously large ranges. They might put in a card is worth like $40 to $100. So, well, really? Like, I could guess that. Ryan Finley for the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals. So in some regards, I think it's just with the pricing being so real time, if you will, and changing so often, I think it makes it hard for Beckett to stay somewhat on top of it. Does that make sense? Poor Rodney. I told you that the other night, though, Rodney. I said it will be painful if you try to get it and you don't, and then you watch the break and a bunch comes out. Hey, man, I warned you. I've had that happen to me. I'm trying to tell you. Kavika, you want an A.J. Brown RPA, so you've got the Titans too then. All right. Got to look for a little Tennessee for a change of pace for you. Oh, A.J. Brown is on the dual autograph card they sent you instead of the Haskins Murray. Yeah, well, I got to think the guy's going to fix it for you, though, Big Papa. I mean, surely to goodness. If it's a person that's been around for a while, they have good feedback or whatever. I mean, I'm sure they do, or you wouldn't have paid that much money to buy it. I've got to think they're going to understand what's happened and get it fixed. Redmond, I don't know that I wouldn't really say that the Beckett value is... I wouldn't say the cash, that you say the Beckett value is double what the cash price is. I don't think that's the case, in my opinion. I mean, you're saying that I don't think it's mispriced to that degree. No, I actually think often the Beckett has it underpriced more so than overpriced. On some cards. I guess others, yeah. Others it might be that you have, that they go the opposite way. But generally speaking, I think they have more of a tendency to undervalue than to overvalue. But part of my problem is just those giant ranges they use. TJ Hawkinson. I said we don't pull him much, and then we pull him again. So how about that to show me up? Cards want to make me a liar tonight, but that's okay. It's a nice hit for the Lions. To 165, that's the Bills. Tyree Jackson. There is an orange to 199 for the Titans. Julian Love. New York Giants are on the board with Julian Love. That one's got a particular amount of curvature to it, FYI. Some of those chromes definitely curve more than others do. I think everybody probably is familiar with that little scenario already. To 299, the Eagles, and apparently our big money man of the day, Carson Wentz. Deebo to 299, 49ers. Oh, hey, did you see, Kavika, did you see the other night that we pulled a Marcus Mariota autographed football helmet? I know that you know him, I think, right? I think you do. Or know his family or something along those lines, maybe both, if I remember right. But anyway, we pulled an autographed football helmet of his on an Oregon helmet. You don't see his stuff on the collegiate helmets too much, but it was kind of fun. This is number 250. It is Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Oh, you're saying, oh, Big Papa Truth, you pay for the Beckett online price guide. You know, I don't pay for that. I know I probably should, given the business that I'm in. It's numbered to 100, Alex Barnes, Titan, I think he is. I'll have to double check that, but I think he's a Titan. So I am not as familiar with how quickly they update it online, just because, honestly, I think what they charge for that online price guide is outrageously expensive for what it is. It really, I think, is considerably overpriced. So I don't subscribe to it. And I can't speak much to how that works. To 165, Drew Brees and the Saints. One would assume that it's updated faster and more frequently than the print ones. But I'd rather pay my, $32 a year or whatever and get my print guide, because I don't use it for current stuff anyway. If I want to know the price of current stuff, I would rather look on eBay completed auction history, but I like to have them in case I want to look back at some older stuff. I use them more for that. And also occasionally they have interesting little articles and things in there too, so. Redmond, you're asking about the curve hurting the grading value. It shouldn't, because it should flatten out when it goes in the top loader. And then, of course, when you send it off to be graded, you'd have it in one of those semi-rigid holders, I'm assuming. That's typically what you would send a card in to be graded. And it would keep it relatively flat. So I don't think it would be a problem. Shouldn't be, anyway. You feel a Bosa coming? You think that Nick is around the corner in here? Could be. We haven't hit him in a while. Yeah, they do charge per sport. You're right on that online guide. There is some kind of deal where you can get all the sports plus like that other weirdo stuff they grade. or price rather. Like, I don't even remember, but there's some other categories that aren't all sports cards. Supposedly, you can get all that together for quote-unquote a discounted price, but it's so much money for what it is. I just look at it and think, you're kind of doing it the opposite way, Beckett. Like, why are you charging so much more for your online price guide than you do for the print one? Because the online one costs you far less money to produce and maintain than a print guide would. You would think you would want to switch everybody to the online guide, so have it priced the same or less, not more. I mean, it's just bizarre the way they do things. But you never know. So that again, a prism, but not numbered. Daniel Jones coming out for the Giants. Behind it, we have a green Terry McLaurin for the Redskins. I see another green. Chicago Bears, Kyle Long to 100. Seems like the Bears have had a lot of parallels tonight, doesn't it? It's to 199 for the Bills. They may not have, but it seems like they have in my head anyway. Daryl, this is exactly who somebody was looking for like 2 breaks in a row, and we never found it. I think he gave up on me, and I think somebody else has the Rams tonight. But finally, there is Daryl Henderson. I don't think we have the same person with the Rams tonight, but maybe we do. I would wish that we did, because I know we had him a couple of different breaks trying to pull that exact hit right there that we just couldn't conjure up, and then by golly, there it is tonight. Isn't that always the way? Number 250, it is Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Redmond, you feel a Kyler Murray coming, huh? We have pulled a couple of Kyler Murrays out of this product recently. One was to 10, and then our most recent, which was out of the last break of this, was not numbered, I don't think. Both were RPA, though. So he's definitely not terribly hard to pull in here. We've pulled him 2 or 3 times anyway. Travis Homer, Seahawks to 299. So yeah, I'll have to get my hands on Luminance tomorrow and see how readily some of our hot rookies are coming out of there. Of course, the draft day autographs are the big draw for Luminance, for me anyway. It's my favorite part. Montez Sweat to 165 Redskins. That's to 299 Gurley for the Rams. Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver is a Buffalo Bill, I do believe. And yeah, the draft day autographs and Luminance, I believe, are set to come about the same way they were last year, which is they fall about every other box in general. So I think, you know, Panini, how they are, they're so vague in their wording, but I think it's one of those where it's like, oh, it's every other box on average or some such as that. So we should find a decent amount of them in a case anyway. Anthony. Anthony, do you have the Rams for real? You have the Rams in here? Nice, nice. The Jets, I would assume it's Ja'Kai would be the autograph in here, and I don't know. Oh, and they have Mark Gastineau. We've pulled Mark Gastineau for sure out of here. Throwback ink, obviously, for the Jets, and I don't know who else. You said when I had the Raiders last time, or when Rodney had the Raiders last time, you went with the Titans and got an A.J. Brown. So tonight, you went to, you switched it up and went to the Rams. That's pretty awesome. Rodney, I don't remember the number of hits in Luminance. Or is it Luminance you're asking me about, right? When you're asking if it's 3 per box. I will have to double check that. I can't remember for sure. Or if you pull up the listing, if you pull up my listing anyway, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the description, I always cut and paste whatever info I have from the manufacturer. And it should tell us in there exactly how many. I just cannot remember off the top of my head if that is right or not. If it's 3. The draft day is what I tend to remember. But you know, it would have to be more. It would have to be more than that. If draft day falls every other box on average, well, no, I guess it wouldn't have to be either. Because you could still have, because there's usually a couple of relics in there too. I don't know. It's to a 199. I'll have to look. I'm just talking crazy now. I don't know. It's a 299 for the Dolphins. Other than my draft day signatures. I paid more attention to that because, well, I'll admit it, that's the part that I like the best out of that product. There we go. It does have a relic in there, so it's 3 autographs and 1 relic. Okay. Thank you, Redmond and Kavika. Thank you, thank you. So, all right, there we go. Now we know the rest of the story. Red, Chrome, Andy Isabella to 100 Cardinals. And Ryan Finley. Ryan Finley, that is a nice relic for Ryan Finley. He is a Bengal. Maybe the second time we pulled him tonight. Is it? I think. Possibly. Anyway, that's a nice relic. But I'm pretty sure that's the second time we've pulled him, like, pretty recently. Didn't we pull him again? I think so. A Lion, Darius Slay. Yeah, there you go. Big Papa True said I must have been beer chugging before the break. That was to 50, the gold version for Darius Slay and the Lions. Number to 25 for the Packers, Davante Adams. Might be is that our first 1 to 25 tonight? Might be. I think it is. I could not imagine trying to do a break if you had some drinks. I mean, just period. Hand-eye coordination, mentally, otherwise. But somebody told me, a couple of people, it's just a $2.99 Adam Thielen and the Vikings. Might have been Stang Lover and somebody, but somebody was telling me about a break they were in, and the guy who was doing the break passed out, literally passed out on camera in the midst of the break. And apparently it kept live streaming while he was passed out and stayed passed out for a couple of hours, evidently. Then came to and said, F this S. I don't say it because it's a family show, but you know the words that would fit in there. And then just turned off the camera, and that was it. Still 199 for the Packers. Still 165 for the Colts. So their theory was, like he was a meth head or something. But it was whoever told us that in chat. Stang Lover, maybe. I don't remember exactly who it was that told me. But anyway, whoever it was that told me that in chat, someone else who was in the chat room the same night said, oh, yeah, I was in that same break. And, blah, blah, blah. And I guess they ended up having to go to eBay and get the representatives from eBay to review the video to see exactly what happened. And then everybody in the break then, I think, got their money back or something as a result. But it was like a whole thing. It was crazy. I couldn't imagine. Darren says he's going to be chugging beer the rest of the night if he doesn't get some hits pretty soon, because he's not doing too well. Brandon, meanwhile, going right for the hard stuff. He's going to chug a bottle of Jack Daniels if he doesn't see some Will Greer. So, are you guys just looking for an excuse to chug beer and Jack Daniels? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. But we'll try it. We'll try to see if we can scare the mojo into bringing something up for you here. Chiefs, Bucks, and Broncos. All right. Chiefs are hard to come by. There are some in here, but they don't come out super frequently. Buccaneers, we get Devin White here and there. And the Broncos, yeah, there's some Broncos in here too. But none of those come out as readily as, say, the Raiders. You know, Raiders and Cardinals and some of the teams that have a lot of rookies. Stands to reason they come out a little more readily than some of the other teams. I already had 2 IPAs and 2 lagers. You know, I don't like IPAs. I shouldn't admit that, having been in the beer business for so many years, but I don't like IPAs. Never did. But the lagers, okay. I can be on board with that. Number to 199, that is Kelvin Harmon for the Redskins. Some of the best beer I had was, I was on an island that technically I think was owned by the Netherlands. It's St. Kitts and Nevis, their sister islands. And there was a little place out in the center of this little shopping square, if you will, to $2.99 Justice Hill for the Ravens. And they had all kinds of beer, and of course I hadn't tried the vast majority of it. This is numbered to 199, Philip Lindsay and the Broncos. And a lot of the international beers are very high alcohol content, much higher alcohol content than what you have here in the States. And so I was just letting this guy out. It was this little patio, you know, they had set up outside. So we were just letting this guy just bring us whatever he thought we would want to try. This is numbered to 100, Noah Fant. There's a Denver Bronco. Chrome to 100. And so I couldn't even tell you how many different beers we had. But man alive, we had to take a cab back because it was, like I said, the alcohol content is crazy. And some of the beers they have internationally are interesting flavor combinations, shall we say. Justice Hill for the Baltimore Ravens. But that's about the only time you probably could have talked me into drinking some IPA, because I would have had so many other beers by that point. I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. To 165 for the 49ers, Roger Craig. To 299, Philip Rivers and the Chargers. The Steelers do have stuff in here, play on standard. They're another team that, you know, they don't come out as readily as some of our others, and certainly not as frequently as they did last year. You know, early season last year, the Steelers just came out like crazy. Eric Metcalf for the Browns. But we have pulled some nice Benny Snell autographs out of here, so for sure there are Steelers available. They're just not making themselves known at the moment, is the problem. But hopefully they'll, you know, maybe he'll show up here in one of these last couple of boxes. We'll try to conjure him up for you, do our best. Yeah, Darren says he's had some IPAs with 12 to 13% alcohol content. Yeah, I mean, some of these were crazy high alcohol content, and I wasn't really asking, nor was I paying any attention to even the bottles that were coming out. We were literally just letting this guy bring whatever. I mean, it was vacation. What do we care, right? And so we're just like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, I think you should try blah, blah, blah. So we're like, yeah, bring it on, you know. And it was crazy. So then at a certain point in, I started thinking, you know, I haven't really had that many beers, but I really feel like I've had a lot to drink. Then I started looking more at the labels, and I'm, holy cow, no wonder. You said Metcalf and Jerry Kramer come up too frequently, you think, based on the number of autographs and possibilities. They definitely come up a lot from the throwback autographs, as does Ickey Woods for the Bengals. Like anything else, some players are going to have a lot more autographs than others. So you just kind of have to take that into account, especially in a product like this that has a lot of unnumbered or primarily unnumbered autographs. There's no way to adequately assess like how many of them should be Ickey Woods versus how many of them might be Barry Sanders, you know. When more of them are numbered, it's sometimes easier to look at it and figure out what you could expect reasonably. But when it's just open edition like this, I mean, who knows how many of those guys signed? Could be zillions. That is to 165 for the Browns. And hang on one second, because I've got a little kitty who's getting chased and is trying to cause a problem here. So let's go, little kitty. Yeah, okay, sorry. He was getting chased, and I thought he was getting ready to take a big flying leap and join us in a way that would have been very unfortunate. So, yeah, I decided it was better to go make sure Kitty was not being bullied any longer so that he did not join us. Have we hit any one of ones in here? I don't think so, but I would not say that for 100% certain. It's to 199 Kyler Murray. I can tell you that normally if we hit one of ones, other than a product like that would be all one of ones, you know, like when we opened that Leaf Best of Sports the other night and it was all one of ones, I wouldn't put one of one in the title because the whole case was one of one. But typically, if we hit a one of one, most of the time I'll remember to put it in the title. Jordan Thomas for the Texans. So I would have to go back and look through the titles, really, for our other breaks of this to be able to tell you, because I don't really think we have, but I, as I said, wouldn't 100% swear to it. Antoine Wesley and Little Jordan Humphrey. That is numbered to 10. So I like that part. Now what's going to happen next is somebody is probably going to be unhappy unless you happen to own both teams. Antoine Wesley, undrafted free agent, signed with the Ravens. Humphrey here, of course, is a Saint. So unless the same person happens to own both teams, that card will be awarded between those two using random.org at the end of the break. Numbered to 199 for the 49ers. Numbered to 299 for the Seahawks. Numbered to 165, the Packers. And what else? What else do we have? Have we seen both of our autographs out of here? I guess we have, right? The other one was the Texans, maybe. It's to 100, Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys. So that means to 299, Devin Singletary. Uh-oh, sorry. My RAM tried to take off on me here. My Chrome card spinning. Kurt Warner trying to jump off the pile. It's mayhem, I tell you. Mayhem. All right, we are officially at last box mojo time. So, this means we need to collectively focus our mojo and try to pull a big, flaming, booming, gigantic hit out of here. And see if we can't make somebody super happy out of this last box here. And then, of course, after we look through the last box, we will award that card using random. And then we will recap our autograph and relic cards. And maybe some of our lower numbered other cards. We're not going to look at the really high numbered ones, but maybe some of the lower numbered ones. Big Papa, you're hoping it's going to be the Jets coming out of here? All right, let's try it. Let's try to make it happen for the Jets. You never know. It might work out that way. There's one of our autographs coming up really early out of our stack here, so there's going to be one left. This is Andy Isabella for the Cardinals. So one down, one left to locate here in our last box to 299 for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Numbered to 100, there's Nick Bosa for the 49ers. Yeah, Nick Bosa's autographs haven't been coming out super frequently. Although I do think we had one case where we pulled him 2 or 3 times out of one case. And then other than that, we have not pulled him an incredible amount. So I almost think we may have pulled more Kyler Murray than we have Nick Bosa, possibly. Roger Craig, San Francisco 49ers, little throwback ink. He's another one that actually does come out with some regularity on the older signatures. To 100, Panthers. To 50, Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Wish that was numbered, right? I mean, signed. It is numbered. Wish it was signed. That's what I meant to say. You know I love my Pat Mahomes. I like watching that kid play. I really do. I watched the Chiefs play actually as often as I could last year because I enjoy watching him. To 299, Deebo Samuel, 49ers. In the home stretch. That is unnumbered, but it is a prism. Marcus Peters for the Rams, followed by to 199, a Julio Jones and the Falcons. Oh, I put that in the wrong stack. Let me fix that real quick. And numbered to 100, you have Thurman Thomas for the Bills. All right, that's the case. That's the break. Let's do the recap and the random that we need to do. We've got ourselves this handsome card. Has Antoine Wesley on the top, an undrafted free agent signed with the Ravens, and then little Jordan Humphrey for the Saints on the bottom. It's numbered to 10. So we're first going to go to the spreadsheet. If the same person owns both teams, woohoo, we don't have to do anything else. If they don't, we'll go to random.org. I will enter Ravens first because it's on the top of the card, Saints second because it's on the bottom of the card. I will hit random 3 different times, and then basically it's the third random that's going to tell the story, not the first 2. First 2 don't even count. We don't even care about them. Anytime I have 9 or fewer, we do random 3 times. Anytime I have 10 or more, we do random a single time. So Baltimore Ravens, first up is Z-Shanks 01. And then our Saints is Rick Whip, R-I-C-W-I-P, Rick Whip 65. So it looks like we are, in fact, going to have to head over here to random to give this card a home. Ah, shoot. Well, okay, clearly I can't type at the moment. Let's try that again. All right, so once again, third one. So ignore the first one, ignore the second one. Here comes our third one. There you go, 3 times, date and timestamp. It heads to the Ravens. Baltimore Ravens taking home this handsome futures card numbered to 10. Now, I would think everyone would know that I did not write on your card, but in case someone didn't, there you go. It's on the sleeve. So, this card, once again, just awarded to the Ravens using random.org, so we'll recap it now because it was already in my hand. Numbered stuff that doesn't have autographs or relics attached, that's to 25 for the Packers, to 50 for the Texans, 50 for the Texans, 50 for the Bears, 50 for the Texans, 35 for the Bills. A little cracked ice here, Ridley for the Bears, numbered to 10 on it. The Packers to 35, DK Metcalf to 35 for the Seahawks, and to 50, Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as you know, there are an incredible number of other numbered things in here that are numbered to, 100 and upwards. Obviously, we're not going to recap all of those because there's loads of them, but you're going to get them, of course. If you saw them go through, they're going to head your way. San Francisco 49ers, Roger Craig, Andy Isabella for the Cardinals. That is Jordan Thomas for the Texans, Eric Metcalf for the Browns, Justice Hill for the Ravens. This one is numbered. Little Darius Slay to 50 for the Lions. Ryan Finley for the Bengals. Ed Oliver for the Bills. Darrell Henderson for the Rams. Julian Love is the Giants. TJ Hawkinson, nice little hit for the Lions. Ryan Finley, Bengals. Clellan Ferrell, Raiders. Another TJ Hawkinson for the Lions. Ickey Woods for the Bengals. Stanley Morgan Jr. for the Bengals. Caleb Wilson, Cardinals. There is Kramer to 35 for the Green Bay Packers. This is numbered as well. N'Keal Harry to 50 for the Patriots. Tyree Jackson, Buffalo Bills. Trayvon Mullen. That numbered? Not numbered. Not numbered. For the Raiders. Jarrett Stidham. That is a prism, but also not numbered for the Patriots. And Emmanuel Hall, undrafted free agent for the Bears. Hey, I managed to retain it for at least the length of the break. That's progress for me, right? I tell you, I always forget where that kid goes. All right, so that is it for tonight. That is our break and our recap. I will put up spreadsheet information here one final time. If you missed it earlier, here comes your shipping info. We'll also take a look at the breaks in the days ahead. So once again, expecting this to be on the way to you roughly Monday. If I can possibly get it out to you faster than that, I will happily do so. The problem is this: Saturday's a kind of a short post office day, so I can't get a good full day's work in on Saturday, and so I've got a break or two still ahead of this one, but if I can get them out the door faster, then you will get yours faster. So that's how it's going to work. If you got skunked in Tier 1, you will still get a package in the mail that'll have your consolation cards in it, and that will ship with the rest of the break. Nobody should have gotten skunked in this. Everybody pulled cards in Legacy, I feel pretty sure, so don't need to worry about consolation cards there. So tomorrow, we've got 2 new products coming out. We're also going to start early tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. It'll be Luminance Football and Flash Football. On Saturday, a half case of Bowman Jumbo Baseball, back half of a case we started a few days ago. Paper Base has its own bidding category and does not ship to the teams. On Sunday, we're starting 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll open Flash Football and Leather and Lumber Baseball. On Monday, again, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, Luminance Football and Finest Baseball. On Tuesday, it'll be Flash Football and Finest Baseball. So that's what we're looking like in the upcoming days, and I guess that wraps us up for tonight. So one more time, thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. I hope I will see you again tomorrow night, or if not then, sometime soon. Enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend ahead, and we'll be back at it tomorrow night, and see you then. Bye now.